professional.
Introducing the new party. We live stream Monday through Thursday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
We will be bringing charges against 8 individuals this morning, 7 of whom are Florida residents. As a dad of 3 little ones, it's tough to talk about some of this stuff, but what these guys were doing was truly heinous. There's not a word in the English dictionary that can describe the gross content that was on the videos. Our investigators have been able to get their hands on over 1 million videos showing sexual abuse on minors. Many of these individuals were babies that are being sold around the world. The 2023 National Center for Missing and Exploited Children reports over 36 million instances of suspected child sexual exploitation and over 100 million files related to child sex abuse material. And that's only what's getting reported. This continues to be a problem in our country, in our state. Protecting our kids is not an easy task to begin with. And today, with the access to the internet and social media, it allows these sick predators to more easily get access to our kids. And as I've said, my first 5-6 weeks on the job here, that's going to be a major priority for my office. The individuals that are being busted today that purchased this harmful content, many of them found it through TikTok. It was available online. They found access to a portal where they could purchase this dangerous material. TikTok has shown they can very quickly get stuff off their website. If there's unlicensed music or something going around, they've proven with a flip of a switch they can get it off. And it's taken too long for them to get some of this pornographic material and avenues to purchase harder, more gross content. We've got to get them to be more accountable. So we will be working on that. We are going to hold social media companies accountable that want to put our families and our kids in jeopardy. So today, these 8 defendants are being charged with multiple felony counts, including RICO, money laundering, and purchase of child pornography. Again, I can't tell you in words how gross this content is, but it shows the dangers, the evil that's out there. It is truly evil. And you've got my word that in this state, we are going to do everything we can to hold these people accountable. If you are a child predator, if you are one of these sick people, then I hope you never see the sun again. And I hope you certainly never have access to kids again.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Enzo.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm Kelly.
We have Kelly Corinne from the Kelly Corinne Show, everybody's favorite FBA. And tonight we are going to be talking about some FBA issues as well as my least favorite subject, but a very important subject of child sex trafficking. Unfortunately, it is a very real thing. As you guys can see in that intro clip here in the great state of Florida, they cracked down. They found a sex trafficking ring. Doesn't surprise me. Unfortunately, we have cruises, we have Disney, we have Universal. So it makes sense that the pedophiles would come here. Gray, as my other Florida resident on the line, what's your thoughts?
I mean, once Jeffrey Epstein was here And I mean, Florida is definitely a hot spot for people that want to come and do crazy stuff. That's why you had a Florida man joke that goes around with anything that happens with Floridians. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that there's a lot of crime here as far as, involving sex cases.
Kelly, 1 million images. What are your thoughts? Where were
Oh
the
my
million
God.
images from? Who are these children?
I thought that was so absolutely horrible. And, I saw a documentary. A lot of these kids, like people think like, who are these kids? I think a lot of these kids are foster kids that's, illegal immigrant kids. I mean, 1 million images, that's bananas. And they was all on the dark web. That's, where they was selling them to. Disgusting.
Enzo, as a former Floridian, what's your thoughts? How do we know, who to be careful of? Like, what do you think are some red flags?
So I think it's absolutely disgusting. Anything with children whatsoever, disgusting. It's kind of unfortunate because somebody within my family is actually incarcerated for child pornography too. So it's crazy. Like, and we spoke about it. Like, I spoke to the mother of said individual, and they sit here and try to defend it. And I'm like, that's crazy, which I don't understand because it was thousands of files, not one, not two. I was like, okay, 1 or 2, fine. Maybe it got on your computer from malware or whatever it is. It was like, you could kind of make some type of excuse like that. But I was like, thousands? No, he knew exactly what he was doing and what he was using that for. And I go, I hope he never sees the light of day or comes in contact with me ever. Like, it's disgusting. People like that, they do not deserve to see the light of day. I'm all in favor for, and anybody like that, straight up death penalty. Sorry to say.
They trade the images. Like, I watch a lot of Chris Hansen. They trade the images. And right now the thing is, and I'm on Telegram because they have like channels, but I've been seeing on Chris Hansen, they've been messaging kids on Telegram, Roblox. I love
Chris Hansen, what he does.
Roblox, yep.
What's the other one? But Skeet Hansen, that the dude on YouTube.
They're hilarious. And Gideon. Yeah.
Yep. They're great. I've been watching them lately. Like, I don't know why. It just popped up on YouTube. I've been watching those episodes lately.
Yeah, Gideon and him, they do a lot of videos together.
Y'all remember Jared Fogle from Subway?
Yes.
Yeah. He had the child pornography too.
I watched the documentary.
Yeah, I just watched it too on HBO, right?
Yes. Sick. So, I mean, y'all gotta watch that documentary. That was crazy. That was really crazy. It was so gross.
One of the craziest parts is he asked the chick that he was talking to, he said, "Will you do anything for me?" And then he was like, "Will you put a camera in one of your children's room? And it doesn't matter if it's a girl or a boy you pick." Like, it was ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was a side piece too, guys, because he was married.
Mm-hmm.
So the other clip I have about this issue, guys, and I wish more Democrats were on the line because, Gray is pretty reasonable. He doesn't believe in conspiracy theories. But this was one of Trump's talking points when he was on the campaign trail about the child sex trafficking. And let me play these clips and we can give reaction.
But not well enough that I'd be getting phone calls. And he told me that he was in Budapest at the time. This was right hours after the invasion. And he said he supports a bunch of orphans in Ukraine and he was worried about them. And he asked if I could help get them out. So now I've got 12 from my wife. I got about 13 others from Mel Gibson. And I'm thinking, okay, I got this list of kids I got to get out. I told Mel, I said, you got to help me. This is going to be expensive. I won't ask you for direct donation, but can you help me film this? Let's film what's happening so we can get people to understand and they can support us. He said, no problem. He helped us get set up and started filming. 4 months later, what I thought was going to be maybe a documentary about Ukraine ends up being a 4-part docuseries that's almost done. It's being produced by DNA Films and executive produced by Tony Robbins. That's how crazy it got and how prophetic my wife was. When I showed up in Ukraine with a list of, I think, 20 names, the Ukrainians countered me and gave me over 10,000 names of orphans that they didn't know where they were because of the chaos caused by war. And more importantly, and more frightening to me, was the fact that I know that human trafficking is a $32 billion a year business. It's the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the world, and I also know how kids get forced into that market. And it's through vulnerable situations like in the aftermath of a hurricane, mostly in a developed country, or an earthquake, or in this case, a war.
My district, you gotta be really bad, okay, to get arrested in Holland. They were arrested in 2020, fugitives. They ran, and they were hiding. No one knew who they were. Well, they rear their ugly heads. The leader, this guy named Nelson Matterlin, he raises. I'm literally in Poland at the time, at our staging operation for Ukraine, and I get this information that this guy in Mexico is trying to traffic kids out of Ukraine. And so I go undercover. The Dutch asset who gave me that information infiltrated me, and I'm undercover talking to this guy. Well, in the end, we ended up, in fact, just yesterday, 2 of the guys were convicted in Ecuador because it led us to Ecuador, a child sex hotel, these pedophiles from Holland, and set up. But we'll get into that another time. Okay. But the point I'm making is I had to study their literature. This was a political platform. This was a political party. And what I started recognizing is I named them I call it the pedophile network doctrines. Okay. Yeah. It's like they include things like separate children from parents because parents are a bad influence. The state knows best. Sexualize kids. Let them see pornography. 2.
Karl Marx.
3, take God out of education because that just gets in the way. And kids consent. Children can consent to anything. At 12 years old, they should be able to vote. They should be able to do anything. Now, what am I seeing here? My stomach is getting sick as I'm reading this. I read this every day. It's the woke left agenda. I'm not saying that they're colluding or talking. It doesn't matter. It's the same dark source. But they are pedophiles are sitting back right now going, we've been pushing this agenda for decades. And now we don't have to push anymore because the left is taking care of it for us in America. And this whole trans voice on children. Again, I'm libertarian. Adults, do what you want. I'll fight for your right to do whatever you want. Okay. In terms of adult, I'm talking about children. Yeah. And what they're saying is children can consent to having their bodies filled with a chemical that will destroy the reproductive system. Yeah. They can consent to ripping apart their genitalia. Like, this is insanity. Why? In and of itself, it's horrible. But what it's going to lead to is what the pedophiles have been asking for. If you can consent to that, guess what? What's more fluid than gender? Age.
What are these wristbands?
I don't know what they are.
You don't know what they are. Mr. Secretary, you have just testified to the American people you're incompetent at your job, because I've been to the southern border, and if you go to the southern border, along the southern border, you see thousands of these wristbands because the illegal immigrants wear them. The drug cartels, every color corresponds to how many thousands of dollars they owe the cartels. You have turned these cartels into multi-billion-dollar criminal organizations, and these are modern-day leg irons because these are children being sold into sex slavery, and you don't even know what they are. That is astonishing. Mr. Secretary, how many children have been sold into sex slavery under your administration?
Senator, we are taking it to the cartels.
How many children have been sold into sex slavery? Do you know how many children have been sold into sex slavery?
To an unprecedented degree.
Mr.
Oh, it's amazing and astonishing the level of ignorance and blindness that we have in this country, because people will tell us as Republicans, as Trump supporters, we are crazy for knowing what's happening at that border. Kelly, what's your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm not even gonna, because I know people make jokes and say this is the Democratic Party. I truly believe the vast majority of Democrats do not agree with this. I really believe that. But the problem is they are not taking a stand, and because they are not taking a stand, their representatives are voting for all of this weirdo woke stuff. And I'm not just making this up. There have been studies done. Like, I want to say, as far as like girls, transgenders playing against females, I want to say like 74% of the country doesn't agree with that. So clearly that's a lot of Democrats that don't agree with it. Now the far lefties that you're talking about, because I know who you're talking about. I've seen these people on lives on TikTok. I think that there's some type of spiritual blindness, because I don't know how how do you not see the news? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you not see any of this? Like, I think they're lying. That's what I think. I think they're like in a gang. Like, even though they're in the Democratic gang, they're in the Democratic Party gang. Like, they like blood in, blood out. Like, they feel like because they can't leave, they got to just say, oh, it's not happening. That's the only thing I could think of.
Gray, as the Democrat on the line, what do you think about the clips you saw? I'm not trying to force you into saying you think it's real or not. They're real clips. That really happened at Congress about a couple of years ago. I think it was like a year or two ago.
So it's a lot to unpack here, but I'll start from the last one to the next one. So first with Ted Cruz, he said these are from people trying to come across the border, and that he asked them how many children were sold into sex trafficking. I don't think they have a number on that. Some of these people are committing crimes, so I'm pretty sure there's all types of crimes that are being committed, including sex trafficking. As far as the other guy saying that the Democratic agenda is the same as the pedophilia agenda, I don't know if I'm using the right terms. You can say this agenda matches this agenda based on whatever. Like, people hate that Republicans are called a racist agenda, but then you can take evidence and say that, well, this is a racist agenda. So, like, I don't necessarily think either party has a connection to this big criminal organizations like some people try to say it, but I'm pretty sure there's always some type of truth to something.
So the reason why I played both clips to connect it, guys, is because there were a million images. Who are these children? Are they children in my home? Are they children in the next person's home? Or are they from the border? Are they what you say, foster care? You know what I'm saying? So they're coming from somewhere. So that's why that was relevant to now. Enzo, what's your thoughts?
So I think it's absolutely disgusting, and I'm not going to sit here and say it's the Democratic Party, this is their agenda, but I mean, there are things within the Democratic agenda and the woke agenda that's been going on in the last 4 years, aka the gender theory that you can pick and choose your gender, like how they said, what's more fluid than your gender or your age. That's 100% what I'm seeing it as, because if one person could say they're whatever gender they want to be, you could say whatever age you want to be at this point, and you get some freak that would be like, oh, well, I identify as a 12-year-old, so I should be able to, be around and touch and diddle kids because I identify as 12. No, that's not how that works. And with the whole sex, the rings and everything like that, I'm going to look at the border exactly. I'm not going to say, like, we know how many of them are getting sold into slavery or sex slavery. But what about the 395,000 children that went missing under the Biden-Harris administration over the last 4 years?
And it's been confirmed that the government trafficked those kids. That's not a conspiracy theory. There have been whistleblowers that have, blew the lid off of that. Exactly. So yeah.
And then I'm gonna throw Trump into the mix too, of him wanting to take these down, because let's look at what happened with Epstein. He's been trying to distance himself from Epstein since 2004 when Epstein first got indicted. Obviously, he found out something that was going on that island. If you either wants to clean himself for whatever we think could have happened on the island with him, or we don't know what happened on because, I mean, there's no clear indication that Trump's been to that island. So I'm going to say, yeah, he has nothing to do with it. But I mean, all right, we throw Democrats back into the mix. Look at Bill Clinton on that list, on that island. It's not that far-fetched to think about. But I'm not going to say all Democrats are like that. I'm not saying that's the Democratic agenda to be all pedophiles. No.
But, so I'll say this. I think their agenda is to be inclusive and open. But if the Bible, and I got to bring up the Bible. The Bible talks about a wall without borders, a city without borders, a city without walls. If you don't have principle, you fall for anything. And that's the issue that I have with the Democratic Party. You can't be so inclusive. You can't be so open, because then you open up yourselves again to what Enzo and Kelly said.
Right. And the problem, I think, too, they keep putting people in the forefront that shouldn't be in the forefront that reflect, and I'm going to say it, negatively of the party. Meaning you got what's that fella's name? The the one, Tim McBride now goes by Sarah McBride.
Oh, him.
I'm seeing him like, or you turn on the Democratic National Convention, it's a lot of effeminate gay men. I have no problem with gay men. I got gay male friends, but it'll be guys that are very flaming, or they will be hosting a TV show. And for me, I just think it kind of turns normal people off from the party too. Why are you pushing them forward? That's weird to me.
And fortunately, they put them out front, but you have men like Gray that are strong men. He served in the military.
Exactly.
And it's unfortunate that they put those up instead of people like Gray.
That's my point. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's why are y'all pushing this 0.1% of a population when you have, like you said, a normal black guy, father, husband, family? Why not have him be the face of the party? It's like they purposely, in my opinion, you're trying to lose elections. You trying to look like the freak party. Last administration, you had that cross-dressing dude, Sam Britton, with the bald head that stole that African woman's clothes and was on a red carpet. You had what's the other one? Rachel Levine, the transgender head of the HHS. Why would we want a mental health person to be the head of the HHS? It was a freak show. It's crazy.
Gray, I'm gonna let you do the last word before we move on to the next topic, because the next topic actually has to do with you again. So I'll have you kick it off. What is your thoughts on everything we said? Do you have a rebuttal or a response?
Yeah, so the way that it's been described to me, and I think this makes sense, is that basically the right-wing Republicans are more concerned with tradition and more concerned with things being in order and about culture. So to use like the border as an example, they're more like, no, these people could come and kill us. They could take stuff from us. They could harm us. Where you have the left-wing party who's saying we're more progressive. We need to like go past all these old ways, get past the old ways, and maybe these people from other places can like help us and build trade and build money. And Democrats are also more like, just care about injustices. So like I feel like the reason those people are put up front is because they're considering that particular minority group the ones that's being accosted or having been marginalized in society.
Right. So Gray, we about to put you on the spot again. Your girl Jasmine Crockett opened her mouth. I don't know why. It's interesting she has not opened her mouth on the other topic we're going to talk about tonight. But let me play this clip and we can do reactions.
Go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation. I know that's right. So I had to go around the country and educate people.
You're muted, Nora. You're muted.
She had to go around and educate people picking cotton. Talk like this reminds me of what they said back in the 1800s. If we end slavery, who's going to pick the cotton? Gray, what's your thoughts? Do you have a reaction to that?
I think Jasmine Crockett knows she's going to get headlines. She knows that if I go out, I talk wild, I cause a ruckus, I'm going to be talked about, I'm going to be shared all over social media. I think she's trying to like get herself out there for a 2028 run. Whether she'll win the primary or not, she's trying to make herself a household name.
Kelly, do you think she's going to win, or do you think that the guy running against her is going to give her a run for her money?
I'm going to be honest with you. I would say 60-40, she's gonna win. I do think she's gonna edge him out. And the reason being is because, for one, and I'm just gonna say it, her district is heavily Black. Black people heavily vote Democrat. Because I looked it up. Her district is about 40% Black, maybe 17% white. I want to say 20%. 20% Hispanic or something, but then they had a part that was like white Hispanic, so I got a little confused, but I do know it's 40% Black. And this guy, Sheldon Daniels, I think that's his name, he came out and said that he doesn't support reparations. Now, do I think Jasmine Crockett supports reparations? No, I don't, because she's been in Congress for a couple years and didn't put any legislation forward. So I don't think she does either. So what he should have did, and I said this on my show because I talked about this guy before, what he should have did, he should support reparations. And that way he can say, hey, this woman is running as a Democrat. What has she done for you? She's the one saying her ancestors built this MF, but she didn't put forth any legislation while she was in Congress. So he's saying he doesn't support that. What incentive do these Black people have to vote for you over her? And let's keep it a buck. Most people, and I'm not even going to pick on Black people or Democrats or whatever, most people don't take the time to look up what their representative, how they're voting, and the like. That's how so yeah, for that reason, probably not. I don't think he's going to win, and that will be a shame because I do think that district needs some new blood.
Enzo, what's your thoughts on these offensive comments that she made? I'm going to ask you this. Do you think if she was a white representative, she could make these comments?
No way.
And I'm going to piggyback off of what Kelly was saying about how people notoriously don't pay attention to who they're putting into power in their districts. I say that all the time whenever Roe v. Wade gets brought up. I go, it doesn't matter that it gets left back to the states. I go, now it shows there's more evil people within your state governments that no one pays attention to who they put into power. That's a great talking point for that you made, Kelly, for Jasmine of she's Black, and why hasn't she put any legislation towards reparations whatsoever? Like if I was him, I would 100% use that against her. Right. 100%, because that would have flipped the district right there. Right. Like, okay, this really shows that she's not really for the community. Like you're talking about picking cotton over here. Why didn't you put anything into place so far? Why didn't you lobby for that yet? 100% agree with you there.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to let you get the closing words on this. Callie brought up a good point. You are FBA. Why has Jasmine Crockett not put up something for reparations? Why has not one Black congressperson done that?
Because most Black politicians, to me, can't necessarily pass things for Black people. Even Obama, I felt like he couldn't directly say, hey, I'm doing this directly for Black people. They get Black votes, but when you're in that position, you want to seem like equal. You don't want to seem, and as a Black person, you don't want to seem like, oh, I just came here to do this for Black people. I don't feel like if it matters if you're a Democrat or a Republican, you go to want to make white people feel comfortable with you being an elected official.
But okay, because I got to push back on you there, Gray. You know, when Obama was in office, the House, what was it? Everything was blue. It was the House, the presidency was blue. The what was it? The Senate was blue. Both sides of Congress were blue. And he passed everything for the gays. He passed everything for the gays. Then came out and said Trayvon Martin could have been my son. Didn't have anybody put any type of legislation forward. You know, I'm not. That's not your fault, Gray. I'm just saying I don't believe that he would be like that. People would have been upset had he not done anything for the Blacks. Kamala Harris, she got, what was it, billions of dollars in contracts for her Asian community, the AAPI community. She looked out for them. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
He did the body cams. I don't necessarily feel like that was necessary directly for Black people, but Black people in the police is always like a big thing. So he did the body cam, so I'll give him that. But what I'm saying is that like Obama, even though he had the power, he was also under a lot of pressure. I feel like if he would have came in there and said, "Hey, you know what, I'm gonna do reparations," I feel like people would have been PO'd if that would have happened.
Maybe not that, but I'm just saying he could have done something. That's all. And I will say this because I give credit when credit is due. He deported them illegals and he reversed that law, where you got more years for selling or having crack opposed to cocaine. He did do that. I will give the man credit on that.
And the body cam footage, because body cam footage is important, y'all. Like, so serious.
I did not know that was him. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not know that was him. So
yeah, that was him. I got to give him that too. Yeah. So guys, we are going to switch gears here and go to our final big story of the night. This is a very, 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 very heartbreaking story. I want to start by saying that me personally, and I think Kelly Mean talks about this, I am going to refrain from giving any opinion or judgment tonight about what we're going to talk about the incident, but it is bringing up a beehive of race relations here in America. So everyone may or may not know, but on April 2nd in Texas, a 17-year-old boy was charged with the murder and stabbing of another student at a high school track meet. Right now, the young man it's a black young man who is responsible allegedly for stabbing this other young man who's white. He has raised $200,000 officially in his GoFundMe campaign, and doing that has raised a lot of anger across America. This has brought up a renewed conversation of race in America, and I'm going to play some clips and we're going to give reactions. So tonight, the focus is not on who's guilty and who's not, but it's going to be about a very tough conversation. So thank you, Enzo, for being a part of it, because not many white people will, unfortunately. And I think we've come a long way. I'm going to say that. But after seeing some of the comments that I saw this week, I am disgusted by America. I'm disgusted by Black America. I'm disgusted by white America. It is disgusting that we are still back in 1968, I feel like. So this first clip was by the right, the Hodge twins. This is them playing Black people's reaction, and we'll start with that.
I'm on TikTok and I'm looking at everybody's reactions about what happened between Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony, right? Mm-hmm. And the Black reaction is what you expect.
But white people, obviously not all of you, so let me just get that out the way, but a bunch of y'all are just a bunch of racist, bigoted crisis actors.
People really believe that kid had the right to tell Carmelo to move. This kid wasn't working security. He wasn't given no responsibility. He wasn't the seat manager. Like, if that kid would have just minded his own business, would he or would he not still be alive?
Austin got unalived. A lot of people are trying to make it a race issue, and it's not. It has nothing to do with that right there. This was self-defense.
And this is all over TikTok. I see a lot of posts on Facebook.
Okay, so I'm going to let Gray go first. Gray, what do you think about some of the things that we've seen? And I'll let you, and I'm not going to necessarily have you speak for Black America, but some of the reactions that Black people have gave. Are you in agreement? It's okay if you are, it's your opinion. Or what do you think about the state of Black America at this point?
Well, I want to respond to you saying that it's like 1968. And I'm in an interracial relationship. So, like, I don't think just because people are saying, like, things on the internet that necessarily means, like, we've been, like, taken back, like, a bunch of years. I feel like people just have the access to say their opinion. They can hide behind a screen and say whatever they want. We didn't see any type of crazy marches from this. We do see like people getting upset online. Ever since, for me, like with Sonia Massey, where she was deleted and the guy was arrested and everything, and nothing happened. Like, cause I assumed that it was gonna be like a bunch of rioting and nothing happened. So I have to say, I feel like we've come a much longer way if people are just letting the court system, the justice system, work itself out.
I don't think you've seen stuff me and Kelly seen. Listen, if Gray is not on X, he don't know y'all. He's on the spaces where it's censored. And shout out to Elon because he has made free speech possible. Listen, Kelly, you don't gotta agree with me. Maybe we're not back in 1968, But based on the stuff that you've seen, we're going to talk about Black people first, because we're going to bring them to the front first. The stuff you've seen, are you shocked by it? Do you agree with it? What's your thoughts?
Okay. Yes, I'm going to say I'm a little surprised. I'm not going to say I'm shocked. I'm going to say a little surprised. Now, me, and like, Nora said, I have purposely withheld my opinion because an investigation has not been brought forth. The only witness testimony was the twin of the victim, but what I do believe, and the father also said it, I don't think it was a race thing. I really don't. My spirit was telling me that I don't think it was a race thing. Now, this is what I will say. What bothered me a little bit was so many people were upset with the young man. I guess the community, the Black community, or I'm not even gonna say Black community. The people came forth to crowdfund for his legal defense. My whole thing was, that's his right. That's every American citizen's right, is to have representation, good representation. I don't remember the outrage, and folks, let me know in the chat. Let me know. Gray, let me know. Nor, let me know. I don't remember the outrage when it was George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman raised $200,000 for his legal.
We're in Florida. There was people were protesting on both sides, for him and against him. So people were fighting for him, but not to this point where people were so shocked about him raising money.
Yeah. So that, I'm gonna tell you another person that raised money. And that y'all said Kyle Rittenhouse. I really didn't even follow that case, so I'm not even gonna speak on that.
He raised $1 million, Kelly.
I believe that. But here's why I'm not speaking on it. I don't remember the specifics of that case, so I can't speak on it. But I know Derek Chauvin, he raised $200,000. And I'm going to be honest, and somebody said in the chat, would these Black people feel the same way if it was a white person? I can't speak for them, but I can speak for myself. I would, because I didn't have a problem with anybody donating to Derek Chauvin. I don't have a problem with anybody donating to whoever they want, because at the end of the day, we all should have a fair shake in court. And if you got a problem with it, just don't donate. That is, it's very simple. But as far as, Black people coming forth saying, oh, well, the person should have minded their business, blah, 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 blah. I can't speak on that because I really don't know what happened. And these are children here. So maybe when I get some evidence, when an investigation is done, I'll give my opinion or whatever. But right now, I think people, that's just my opinion, I think people should be quiet because they don't really know what happened. That's just my opinion.
I'm gonna let Enzo respond, but chat wants me to play a video of what happened. Are y'all okay with me playing it after him? Because I found one, so she can know what's going on.
Yeah.
Enzo, what's your thoughts? Again, I'm not really trying to have, we're not trying to have a race bait thing or whatever.
No,
but do you think he should have a right to a defense fund from everything you've learned about the situation?
Absolutely. Like, we spoke on it last night in the man cave. I think I more or less looked at it like a self-defense type situation. That doesn't negate the fact that he should absolutely have a defense fund, because at the end of the day, it's not just the one boy lost his life. Both of them absolutely could lose their lives at the end of the day, because let's say that it all fails in court, that's his life that he threw away. And it's unfortunate to say, it's a very, very unfortunate situation for two high schoolers to get into something like this. Like, growing up, you got your ass beat, and that was it. You didn't come back with a weapon. You didn't carry around weapons. You weren't doing any of this, any of that. I don't know what's going on with today's kids, and it's not just a race thing. It's on both sides. Sides of the
card. And Nick Fuentes, Brandon Tatum, I'm gonna need all y'all to come to the front. You heard a white man say it's on both sides, because they're acting like it's only on one side, and I get it. Black culture. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But let me play the clip. It's a Fox News clip. So everybody in the chat, stay tuned, pay attention here. The father, he came out, he said, I don't want this as a race issue. He made that very clear. My thoughts is he knows the other son is involved in some way. He was there when it happened. That's my thoughts. And again, I'm going to tell you a quick story. I'm told that in China, when businessmen meet for dinner, they sit down at the table. If the other businessman puts salt and pepper or any type of seasoning before the business meeting is over, they'll all get up, because they'll say you shouldn't be quick to, know what the food tastes like without all the facts, without knowing what it tastes like. And I'm going to relate it to this. I'm not giving an opinion because we don't know what's going on. It is too soon to know. The police report I saw is very unclear. I sent it to Kelly.
Yeah.
It doesn't explain fully what's going on. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of things.
Make sense. It didn't make sense.
No, it didn't make sense. So it's a heartbreaking situation. Gray, is there anything you want to add before we move on to the next thing?
No, like Enzo said, we covered this on the new part. I mean, the man cave last night. Yeah, it's a sad situation.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do a different angle here on the new party, delving more into the race stuff going on. So Black conservatives, in particular Black conservative men, I'm gonna need you to come to the front of the congregation because almost all of them, except one, is already jumping to judgment. Let me play this clip of Officer Tatum, actually of Jason Whitlock jumping the gun.
Not stab this boy because he's white. Carmelo Anthony stabbed this boy because he has no emotional control and he's loyal to a culture that tells him any disrespect should be met with aggression and violence. What Carmelo Anthony did, he would do to a black boy, a black girl, an adult, a child. He would do it to anybody. If he feels disrespected, the culture tells him, be aggressive. That is good. And Black Lives Matters is good. It's just when people take it out of context. No, you're promoting idolatry. A religion, a racial idolatry, a religion based on skin color. And that skin color religion, black culture, trains kids up to adopt every materialistic, hedonistic, violent behavior possible. You're part of the problem, and you don't want to admit it. And you want to point your finger at Matt Walsh and say, no, he's the problem. Matt Walsh is not going to kill one black kid. And Matt Walsh, I'm betting here, haven't asked him, haven't talked to him about it, but I bet you he hates black culture and rejects black culture. And you should hate black culture and reject.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't watch no more. Reject black culture, hate black culture. Where is the pride of black people in this country? Gray, I'm going to let you go first. Or black men in particular, because black women ain't talking like this. These are the black men.
These are black conservatives doing this. And
he's right.
Yeah, so I mean, like, here's the thing, like, there is also an algorithm and the new party. We obviously took advantage of that, where if you're black and you're a Republican, people are going to find that interesting. So that's like people doing it for personal gain. But I also feel like there is a part in black society and certain black people where they feel like they either have to submit to white culture or they have to like say that white culture is better than black culture. And black culture does have some bad things about it. We do have a lot of ghetto hood culture stuff. I'm not going to sit here and try to defend it and say we don't. But, you know, with cases like this, I just think it should be based on a case-by-case basis. I don't feel like black culture is the culprit in this situation.
Kelly, my lady FBA, black culture. Tell everybody about black culture. I mean,
okay. First and foremost, I think Jason Whitlock need to shut the F up because he doesn't know what he's talking about or know what anything that happened. That's first and foremost. For all we know, those two boys could have been trying to jump him. Remember, he went. This is the story. He went to the tent. You know, it wasn't his school tent. Which, by the way, who say anybody was?
It was a rainy day though, too. It was
a rainy day. So he might have been in an area where it was, you know, a lot of people from that school. They could have been trying to jump him. Could have been completely been self-defense. Could have been, maybe not. I don't know. But because I don't know, I'm not running my gap. And Jason Whitlock and Brandon Tatum, they always have something to say negative about black people. My opinion, I think they're a couple of coons. I do. I think they feel like if they throw black people up under the bus, then these white folks will get on their dick and watch them and like, oh yeah, I like this black guy.
Yeah.
He's one of the good ones. Blah 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 blah. And when they turn around, oh, these same white people like, yeah, get that
They
in.
turn on them. We gonna play that tonight. They turn on them. So y'all gonna stick around. You about to have some laughs because they turn on them. Keep going, Kelly.
Look, so me, yes, I'm a Republican, but I am black. I live in a black area. When I'm not online, I got to go back to being black. Meaning if I ever do some white, I'm going to say it, do some white shit, be a race trader or whatever the heck, my people will hold me accountable. So some stuff I'm not going to do. Now, with that being said, I do not idolize my race. Meaning if a black person is doing something wrong, I'm going to call it out. Chat may come for me. X may come for me because I saw what people say. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That whole thing with Daniel Penny, I looked at it like if I was on that train as a woman that is 5'1", 150 pounds. I'm a small person. And I don't know if anybody rode the New York train. It's off the MFing chain. My dude once saw a homeless black man taking a shit in a water bottle while walking yeah. So already it's off the chain. Now, if I heard Daniel Jordan Neely hooting and hollering, threatening people, okay, which by the way, he made good on those threats, had 44 charges, had exposed himself to a woman. I'd bet my paycheck it was a black woman. He also kidnapped a little black girl that was 6 years old. So this guy wasn't a nice street performer. In my little self, okay, if I'm on that train and these people restrained him, I would have been thankful to Daniel Penny. I'm going to keep it a buck. Now, do I think it's terrible that the man lost his life? Yes, I do. But do I think Daniel Penny woke up one morning and said, I'm going to kill an N-word today? No, I don't. No, I don't. So FBAs, y'all want to come for me, cancel me, that's fine. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a very petite black woman. And if some homeless man is hooping and hollering on the train, talking about I'm hungry, I'm going to hit somebody. Yeah, I would love for somebody to restrain that guy. Okay, not kill him. Not kill him, but restrain him. And I don't think he did it on purpose. And again, that's my opinion on it. But yeah, Jason, Brandon Tatum, couple of coons. Brandon Tatum, every time I turn around, this dude got running his mouth about black people. Dude, you live in Arizona. I know it ain't no black people over there. You got a white wife. Why are you so up on black people? Okay, where about the white folks? Where about the white folks? That man talked more about black people than the supposed racist Nick Fuentes, and I tweeted that today on X. Yeah,
yes, I told you that. Mm-hmm.
Both of them be on black people's dick all the time. And speaking of Matt Walsh, because I'm gonna wrap this up, I promise y'all, but I'm cooking right now. Jason Whitlock, you over here talking about Matt Walsh. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Nora. Didn't Candace Owens say that the Daily Wire would promote them to say racist stuff against blacks? Actually, I know they did. I know she did. I know she said that. And they used to do that. So Jason Whitlock, you over here sucking Matt Walsh's dick, and the whole time he been an op to your people. Okay, but you a cool, so it don't matter. But yeah, that's facts, y'all. Y'all can fact check that. She sure did say the Daily Wire, which Matt Walsh is a part of, would push certain racial stuff against black folks. So F all of them. And I'm glad y'all's ratings is going down and Candace Owens is dominating. And I'm not saying I'm too keen on Candace, but I'm glad she beating them in the ratings. So that's
true, because they censored her, with the whole Palestine thing. So that's what they get. Enzo, how do you follow up with that? And Enzo, I mean, what's your thoughts?
Just cut. There's no cut.
Well, I'm gonna need you when we play Nick. We'll have you go first, Enzo. So, what the funny part is, he over here cucking for them, for the whites, and Nick Fuentes called him out. I'm about to play you guys this clip.
Shout out to Nick Fuentes.
Shout out to Nick Fuentes, the one good thing he did this week, because we're going to call him to the front in a minute, too, because he didn't say some nice things about blacks, but he did call out Jason Whitlock. Let me play this.
You are a token. Hey, Jason, you're a token. You are in conservative media as a black guy that can confer upon white people the dignity of not being called a racist for having their views. That's why you get paid. And that's why I don't, because I didn't have the privilege of being born black. I was born white. So there's a limit on what I can say. There's a limit on what I can say without being penalized in the so-called free marketplace of ideas. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows. And everybody's sick of it, especially in the conservative space, that blacks have had it easy. It is, and I don't doubt that he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's genuine. But you are playing by a different set of rules, pal. You have training wheels on. You think you've earned it? Everything you have. Take a look around at your studio, your contract, your employees. If you said the stuff that you said as a white person, your ass would be fucking gone. And everybody knows that. You're on Blaze hosting E. Michael Jones talking about the Jews. It's a good fucking thing you're black, because if you weren't, you would have been fired like Elijah Schaffer. You would have been fired like every other white person. Everybody knows that. Take a good look at everything around you, because you did not compete to get that. You got it because people feel sorry. People don't want to be called racist. They feel sorry. They need a black person to give them credibility.
Okay, guys. Do we agree? Gray, I'm gonna let you go first. I'm sure you're itching to say so much. Do you think that Jason Whitlock is the token, like Nick said? What are you thinking about what he said?
I 1,000% agree. And I'll use even another example. I feel like if a white content creator that was conservative made the exact same video as a black conservative on content, I feel like the black conservatives will get way more views. And it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that it's the easy route, but like people find that, because people want to know why. People want to know why, what made you become a Republican if you black, and like they want to like hear you, like your opinions on things.
Enzo, sorry, buddy. Do you agree with what Nick said? Do you think that this guy gets away with it because he's black? Like,
I'm just gonna say straight up, Nick has no place to say anything about anybody. That's my big thing. Like, I mean, he spoke some truth. I'll give him that. But like, then again, you have no place to say any of that. Like,
so do you think he's jealous? Because your homeboy, your
100%.
homie said that in the chat. Yeah,
100%. I think he's jealous. I mean, it's just funny with like what last week he was hanging out with Kanye and now he's talking bad. Like, come on now, pick a side, bro. Which one do you want to be on?
Oh, we got that clip too, by the way.
Like, I don't know. I can't stand that guy. I can't stand his voice. I can't stand anything about him. He makes
Enzo, I think you're one of the only white guys that feel like that. They love him.
He makes people like me look bad. Like, and it annoys the living shit out of me that there are humans like this that people platform. Like, it's disgusting in my eyes. Like, how is there people out there that realistically can sit there and listen to this guy day in and day out? Like, I've seen his rumbles. He's got thousands of people in there. It makes no sense to me. Not at all. In 2025, how are we still platforming these people?
True. I gotta agree with you, because day in and day out. But I will say, day in and day out, he does not say racial stuff about American issues. Usually he talks about world issues and he talks about politics going on around the world. I will say that because I have watched his show. This week he's just on extra rants about the racial stuff, in particular black people right now, because that's the issue.
That's my thing. It's just what he stands for behind all that. Like, I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. My internet was kicking out, so I came upstairs. I watch someone even more racist than Nick. I watch Stu Peters. I watch Stu Peters because he talks about certain thing that I like to know about. And I'm even going to say this about Stu Peters, and I'm going to say this about Nick. I think they both have more black friends than Tatum and Jason Whitlock. I saw Kanye on Nick's show. I saw Nick say, "Hey man, I don't hate anyone. I don't have any hate in my heart for anyone. Kanye's really cool." Now, Nick's viewers are pretty racist, and they didn't like that he said that.
True.
They didn't like
Actually, the white supremacists go after Nick Fuentes, guys. They said Nick's not racist enough for them. Just so you're aware, the true white supremacists don't like Nick.
I believe that. And this was my point. White people don't want to hear about black stuff all the daggone time. I truly believe that. So what Jason does and what Brandon does, any chance they get to shit on black people, they gonna take it. Whereas a lot of the white media, even the racist ones, I don't think they care like that. So
This is the most racist stuff I've heard Nick say in the couple of months I've been like kind of like following him. And the reason why I follow him is because he knows a lot about what's going on in the Middle East and around the world. And he really deep dives and researches.
Stu speaks on certain things that I like to know about. And again, and I know who I'm watching. I know the dude's racist. I know that. And I'm not saying I like him, but if you giving me certain content, if you talking about something that I'm interested in and I need to know the facts, it just is what it is. Now I'm not going to donate to you, you know, I'm not going to send you no super chat, you know, but I'll watch.
I mean, I can stomach him more than these black guys because my thing is he's fighting for white people. These black guys, I'm gonna need you to fight for black people. When are you gonna fight for the black community? When are you gonna help the black community? That's why I can stomach him more than these guys. For me personally, I'm gonna be honest with you guys because they're fighting for their people.
They are fighting for the white community. That's what they're fighting for. They fight, and that's why I think it's like so. Why, like what Gray was saying, people are gonna watch because it is abnormal for someone of your tribe, you know, to speak against their own tribe. That's unusual, you know. And they both, I'm pretty sure they're both FBA. If they was tethers, then you know nobody would be surprised.
I just think America has a hatred for black people. And when you hear black people talk like that, well, I'm not going to say all of America. There is a group of Americans, let me say that, have a hatred for black people. So when they hear other black people saying it, they like to watch it. That's what I think. And that's why they have the following that they do. And it's disgusting. But my last clip of the night, this is Brandon Tatum, and we'll discuss it.
But the most racist people in America are black people, hands down. If you don't believe me, watch the clip.
People who need correction about racial issues, what's your motivation for wanting to call out black people? There's a weird liberal obsession with wanting to put black folks in their place that needs to be examined, y'all.
I just woke up yesterday, but most people live around most people live around the same race. So therefore, if something happens in the black community or the white community, the Asian community, a rational human being should be able to call them on the carpet. And it shouldn't be, well, you don't call your own people out, so you don't. No, when you see the bull crap, you see the bull crap. And unfortunately, I personally believe if anybody is going to say that people don't call their own people out, it's black people don't call their own people out. Because George Floyd and them are heroes and everything else when they get killed by a cop. Didn't say nothing about a George Floyd when he was robbing people. Said nothing about his drug dealer who was next to George Floyd in the car when he was selling George Floyd the drugs. Y'all ain't say nothing about the killing and stealing and dealing that go on in the community, more so in the black community than anywhere else in the entire country. Won't say a thing, won't make a shirt. With Nick Fuentes. So Nick Fuentes, in my opinion, is influenced by the devil. So I don't know why Kanye is friends with him unless they're both.
Really, bro? Really? Nick has motivated more guys to find Christ than I could think of. Literally a Catholic nationalist.
He's an effing tether.
Unites everyone under the cross.
Who cares what he got to say? He need to go back to his country.
Political commentators, and he always talks about Catholicism. I mean, the guy's a virgin because he believes in his views so much. So really, the devil. I would argue he's a complete opposite of that. Complete opposite.
Influenced by the devil. Nick Fuentes is what I would consider to be a fake right-wing Christian who's a racist.
That's a bad take. He's, number one, he's more to the right than any mainstream right-wing political commentator, far more to the right than any of them. A lot of people would consider him far right than you are, Brandon Tatum. You're pro-immigration. Like, bro, like you're pro-immigration. Like, what the fuck? You're barely a conservative, if we're gonna be honest. You're pro-immigration, man. So no, way more.
And all the people who follow him are racist. Not all of them, but I think a lot.
How is he a racist when he's standing right next to Kanye West? How is he a racist if he's standing right next to Kanye West? He was a part of Ye 22. Or Ye 24, excuse me. He helped write his speeches. He was on a campaign trail with him. He was helping Ye become president of the United States. I would argue, if anything, that proves that he's not racist whatsoever. He was helping a black man become president of the United States. What are you talking about, Brandon? Come on, bro. That's an L take. He's influenced by the devil, but he brings the cross out when he does his speeches. He's racist, but he's helping a black man become president of the United States. Come on, bro. Come on, Brandon. You're smarter than this, man. He's a fake conservative.
Called the groupers. And
I wouldn't say it's little. They're pretty it's a big movement, man.
they're incredibly racist. And if you listen to these idiots long enough, they would try to convince you that America is better.
Are they racist? They rock with me. They support me.
Oh,
I don't think they're racist.
they're not racist for rocking
And I'm
with
a
him,
black
Cal.
Arab, and they rock with me all the time.
They
So
are.
all the grapers in chat. See a lot of you guys in
hold
here with the
on.
frog
I'm
emojis and
surprised he
everything.
called himself
So they're
black.
not racist. That's a lie.
I've never heard
Once
him
again,
say this.
He's
I
black.
think Nick's top guy is black, and he's a groiper. One of Nick's top guys is a black dude, bro.
When it's white. No, America is better when you live the American dream and you have the American idea in your heart and you assimilate to that theology. That's when America is better. Whether you black, green, immigrant, white, you name it, you apply that, you will live an American dream or you'll live a great experience in America. Nobody can act like white people are that great because the stupidest people in the world right now are white liberals.
I agree with you on that. They're idiots. They're over here talking about black guilt and all this other shit. I agree that they're retards. But you want to know who's even more insufferable? Black liberals, Jasmine Crockett, etc. They're even worse because they're openly racist. Jasmine Crockett talking about white tears and all this other shit. And she's a congresswoman, bro. People like Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar, they're even more insufferable.
The absolute worst. And the reason I say that is because they've been given this much success and opportunity and freedom, and they want to throw it all away.
Gray, what's your thoughts about everything you heard? It was a lot that was said.
I mean, I feel like if you have to go down a list and say, hey, this person's friends with this person, or this person's this person is a racist, I think you're trying to go too far. I mean, like Kanye hanging out with him, and that meaning you're not racist. Kanye's MAGA, Kanye's crazy. So I mean, like, I really don't have a comment. I mean, I understood what Officer Tatum was saying that he's anti-racism. So I guess that's good that a black conservative's anti-racism.
Enzo, what's your thoughts on Brandon Tatum and what Myron Gaines was saying? I know you're probably gonna lean more to this.
I mean, I get what they're both saying. I mean, with Kanye, he literally made a song called Black Skinhead. So are we really going to question him on why he's hanging out with Nick? No, not really. And listen, you could be black and be a white supremacist at the end of the day, just because I mean, I've grown up in Florida, in South Florida, Waxahachie area. I could name drop people right now that are Akon skin color black that are full-blown white supremacists. So I mean, it's not because you're black doesn't mean you can't be racist towards your own kind. No, you absolutely can. So I mean, it's just kind of a moot point on their side, but I kind of agree in certain ways with a little bit of it. It's just Nick, he's a full-blown racist, and he could have black people around him that are racist too. So it doesn't. I don't really look at it that way at all. It's just a new kind of racist, I guess. It's not traditional racism. I don't know. Maybe it progressed. I don't fucking know.
All right, let me know.
Okay, Kelly. I know you about to cook the tether of the year over there.
Okay, first and foremost,
Oh,
my
Enzo, have you ever heard this term tether? Do you know what it is? We
Oh,
might need to school you. Can you tell him what it is?
A tether is a person that is an immigrant. They could be African, from an island, whatever. They're not foundationally Black American. They are a Black immigrant that goes against Black culture. Nora is a Black immigrant, but she's not a tether because she doesn't go against Black culture. That's my girl. Okay, that's what a tether is. Now, Myron Gaines is the most racist person that was up on that screen. More racist than Nick, more racist than Brandon. And here's why I got an issue with Brandon more so than I got Nick. Nick's a white boy. Whites, they can be racist to Blacks. That's not going to shock a Black person. We already got our own problems. Now, when it's a Black that's being racist against a Black, Blacks really, really hate that. So that's why I really, really don't like Brandon. Now, back to the tether. That friggin' tether, you hate yourself so much because he hates himself so much. He hates Black people. Again, he always talking about Black people. That man changed his whole name to Myron Gaines. His real name is Amarfu, whatever. So anybody,
Amar Fuyudo.
Thank you.
Oh,
and
talk about his girlfriend too, Kelly. Get to that because he talks about immigration. So don't forget that point.
Yeah, he got a mid girlfriend. That's what is she?
A foreigner. She's from. We don't know if she's legal or not. My theory is they're secretly married. He talks bad about foreigners and immigrants, but his whole chick is a freaking foreigner who can barely speak English, y'all.
Yes, yeah. Now here's the other thing, because I'm going to say it. Okay, he likes to talk about the J people a lot, okay? And everybody talks about how the J people changed their names. Dude, you did the same thing. You need to shut the F up, okay? That's that. Now, as far as him defending Nick and saying Nick's not racist because he hangs out with Kanye, I'm with you on that, Enzo. But again, I don't even care that Nick is kind of racist. I don't even care. My issue, because again, Nick does not run his mouth about Blacks all the time. He doing it now because it's a hot topic right now, and he's probably capitalizing on it. I get it, but y'all two, meaning Brandon and the tether, because he's not Black, okay? Brandon, the Black guy, and the tether, y'all talk about Blacks so much. And what really bothers me also with Jason Whitlock saying this Black culture and this, that, and the third, what irritates me, I'm Black. I don't know none of this N-word stuff. I grew up with, I'm gonna say, I grew up with a little bit of money, y'all. So not all Black people are broke. Not all Black people have certain, do ghetto shit and all of that. So Jason, you in a certain tax bracket, you know that. So the fact that you only focus on the degeneracy of Blacks, that's pretty racist, because I don't know any white conservative that's always talking about the degeneracy of white people. Of what are them hillbillies? Y'all know that hillbilly family that was so inbred on soft white. Nobody talk about them. Nobody talking about poor white trailer trash or how white people are the most addicted to opioids. Nobody talks about that, which is fine.
Or that I sent you that clip of those people fighting in Walmart. White people do it too. They say Black people fight when we go places. White people do it too.
Yes. And again, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to land my plane, I promise. As far as, Black people do all that. No, yes, a white person is more statistically inclined to be the victim of a crime by a Black than the opposite way. Okay. We all know that. But hey, man, what was it? The last 200 years, they was getting all the licks. I'm just saying, they was lynching people and all kind of shit. So I'm not saying what's going on is right, but how I just feel like white people, you shouldn't put all Blacks in that boat as far as the degeneracy and whatever, blah, 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 blah. I don't do that with white people. I'm not going to say, your grandfather probably lynched somebody or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't do that. So I just think people should have a little bit of grace. Now, you don't want to live by Black people. It's a free country. You don't have to. My feelings won't be hurt. In fact, where I live, my city, all the white people that moved in to DC and now saw gentrification and they're going property taxes and gone up. So yeah, maybe I ain't got live where you want to live. You want to live with white people, do what you want to do. But my point is, what them two do, they focus on the degeneracy of the race, where white people don't do that. white people a little bit better staying on code than those friggin' coons. And that's why we hate them. That's it.
Drops mic. This was a great show, everyone. Everybody, if you're watching on any network, I need you to hit the like button. Hit the like button. We are the new party. Kelly is a friend of the show. We're going to start by doing some closing thoughts. I love Kelly. Thank you so much for coming. Enzo, you were a good sport tonight. You are a amazing, amazing man. Thank you so much for being a good sport. Let us know your closing thoughts. Also, if you're going to be doing your live, let everybody know where they can find you at now.
So, yeah, we'll be going live after this on Enzo Debates on TikTok, which is my main account, which I finally got back. Thank you, TikTok, for being a good sport. I'll be nice, I promise. Kelly, you're amazing.
Thank you. I followed you on TikTok.
You literally stole the show. Like, I'm like, I don't know how to come back after this. Like, you stole the thunder. No, but it was absolutely great. Every single topic tonight was great. I'm happy that we got to talk about things that are really kind of suppressed in my eyes, like the sex pedophile rings. I mean, it's been suppressed for a long time now. We all been knowing it's going on. I want to know the root reasons why these are happening, who's really behind all of this, regardless if it's a political party, if it's a cartel, whatever it is. Same thing with the unfortunate situation with the two boys in Texas, the high schoolers. Like I said before, I really look at it as both young men really lost their lives at the end of the day, regardless if everything goes well for the one in court. Still, that's just a hard thing to even live with. I want to know more information on that myself. And then the whole thing with Nick and all that is just, I don't know. Like, it's in my eyes, he just, like, I know he's not racist like all the time or everything. But then again, it just, in my eyes,
you can say if you think he's racist, Enzo.
He is racist.
It's okay.
He is racist.
He's absolutely racist. Like,
he's racist.
There's certain things, like little clips that I've seen that I can kind of agree with him, just little teeny bits. But at the end of the day, still, the bigger picture is that is what people thought the conservative party was. If you're a white man, that you're racist, that you're anti-Semitic, that you're homophobic, transphobic, whatever it is. Like, I preach that on my live all day long. Like, I'm not your typical Trump supporter at the end of the day. I'm not Nick Fuentes. I literally got banned on TikTok because I said if I saw him in the street, it would not be good. Because I just explicitly hate the kid. But that's really.
And y'all are very close in age, Enzo. So maybe you'll be the next Nick. You know, the better version of Nick Fuentes, the next white guy that's going to change the face of the movement.
Oh my gosh, I just had a light bulb moment. He really doesn't like Nick. The same reason why I really don't like Jason.
We don't like these guys. And that's why I said it's okay, Enzo, be yourself, because that's what makes you great, because you're truly not like these guys. So that's okay.
It reflects negatively on his race. Like, they reflect
exactly like how we feel about these people. Kelly, let everybody know where they can find you at and your closing thoughts.
You guys can find me on X. I am at Kelly C Show, and I'm here on YouTube and Rumble, and my handle is at the Kelly Corinne Show. On Saturday, Nora and I and some of the other, I think Mia from the New Party, we are going to be talking about the firmament and whether the Earth is flat. But that's
Enzo's coming too.
Enzo. Oh, great, yes. So we will be talking about that Saturday. I'm not sure the time, maybe 7 or 8. We will keep you guys posted, but check us out. You know, we'll post it. And also on TikTok, same handle, at the Kelly Corinne Show on TikTok. Had a great time. Thanks for having me. Great.
Talk about next week, Kelly. Next week, next Tuesday night.
Oh, yes. And we're having a panel next Tuesday. Me and Mika and Nora, the New Party, it's a collab, and Fatty here on YouTube as well. We're going to do a super panel. We're still in the mix of thinking up the topics and things like that. And that's it. Yeah. So Saturday, we're talking about whether the Earth is flat. Spoiler, it is. The firmament. And next Tuesday, our super panel. And I thank you for having me.
Thanks for being patient. You the star of the New Party at /Man Cave. You're on every night. What's your closing thoughts?
First off, shout out to Kelly. I mean, she's not in a new party, but it's basically like she's in a new party. We have done so much content together. Shout out to Enzo. Thank you for being a good sport. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And basically the same thing Enzo said. Like, I want to find out about the sex trafficking. And as far as like the black conservatives, I mean, it was interesting to talk about because we have black conservatives on our panel. And if people look at the new party, we have people from every single background that we've worked with. I think we even had an Asian, but we did put an Asian in the cast. So like, yeah, I think that shows that America is diverse and things are getting better. That's my closing thoughts.
Yes. Hold on. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you are watching us, we are the New Party. We live stream every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow night, we will be back with the Man Cave, which is our version of the whole Red Pill movement where we focus on men's topics. So shouts out to the Man Cave. Shouts out to our team. Thank you so much to Gray Mars, our co-founder. Thank you so much for Enzo for being a part of our team and being a good sport tonight. We will be back here Thursday night on the New Party. We'll be talking about Kenya Moore and her being fired from the Housewives. I'm so sad. The end of an era. We'll talk about her. Does reality TV take it too far? Is it real? She basically exposed some sexual explicit pictures of her castmate, which led to her firing. We'll break that down and show you some clips. But CNG1215, thank you so much for watching. When are these black men gonna actually come together and build something instead of cucking for other groups? No wonder black women don't respect them. As a black person, this is embarrassing. Thank you, CNG. I'ma say this. I'ma not say all the problems on the black community are down to black men, but black men, you are here to lead. You are here to inspire. You are here to, mentor the next generation. How are you mentoring, leading, inspiring when you're tearing us down, attacking us every chance you get? What are you guys doing in the black community? I want to know. Again, I'm not so harsh towards Nick Fuentes because Nick is doing this for the white community in his eyes. He's a leader for the white community. Again, I don't agree with what he says. He is a full-blown racist, but again, he's standing up for his community and he's fighting for them. Black men, I'm going to need you to stand up and fight for us, lead for us, take over and take charge. And that is my closing thoughts. As we say on the New Party, always vote and God bless everyone.
Always vote.
Introducing the New Party. We live stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.